What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including backstage news on people in the WWE calling for NIA JAX to be fired. Footage was also deleted by WWE. There was backstage heat on Gronkowski before he left. Is Hulk Hogan banned from All Elite Wrestling? The Undertaker talks how he could have prevented the Montreal Screwjob. And when Sid Vicious crushed Bray Wyatt. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. That's it, the intro, because it's now time for the news. Now our first story looks on backstage news, as people are calling for NIA JAX to be fired and the footage has been deleted by WWE. Now, NIA JAX has caused a social media storm with wrestling fans criticizing her safety in the ring after her most latest action gave Kairi Sane a very nasty gash on her forehead. Now, reports initially indicated that nobody blamed Jax for the incident, as Sane oversold a move, but looking at the footage, it really doesn't seem to be the case. Oh, by the way, this footage was cleverly edited out by WWE. They don't want to obviously draw any more attention to it. But it's obvious by looking at the footage that Jax didn't properly position her when throwing her recklessly into the steps, and some people backstage in WWE, which include possible superstars, are calling for her to be fired. On the Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez read out a text he received from one of his sources in the WWE. The person who sent out this text was furious with Jax and wanted her fired from the company before she seriously injures someone. He wrote, 1000% Nia's fault. She needs to be effing fired. She is dangerous. Fire her before she cripples or kills somebody. Now, what is the best thing for WWE to do at this point? Take her back to developmental? Fire her? Suspend her? What would be the best course of action? Again, some people are saying that, oh, well, nobody complained when Seth injured Finn Balor or even retired Sting with the same move, but they forget a few points. Seth didn't use it to get heat, as Jax clearly is. He apologized to both competitors, while NIA JAX hasn't. Her record with injuring people out of sheer recklessness is far longer than Rollins's. Sting's age was a factor, and neither he or Balor never blamed Seth. So does that clear up a few things? But back to the original question, what should WWE do at this point? Next up, there was backstage heat on Gronkowski before he left. As we reported in the news this morning, former WWE 24/7 champion Gronk has opted to get out of his WWE contract as he had a release clause within it. Instead of the squared circle now, Gronk is headed back to the gridiron to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the upcoming NFL season. However, even though he looked like a chill guy on screen, he wasn't liked backstage. This came after he almost refused to do his dive spot at WrestleMania, something even Vince McMahon at 70 years of age demonstrated was safe to do. Fightful reported, there was heat on Gronkowski after his hesitation to do his scheduled spot and put the WrestleMania filming 2 hours behind schedule. One top name on the roster called Gronk an effing clown who we are so much better off without. Yikes, what an absolute waste of time and money Gronk was. He didn't bring much, left quite quickly, and pissed off most of the locker room. Nice. Next up, is Hulk Hogan banned from All Elite Wrestling? Now, we may be taking this joke out of context, but just recently Linda Hogan, aka Hulk Hogan's ex-wife, just tweeted, "Watching the looting, it's all Afro-Americans. Not sure how robbing and stealing set the record straight, but if they want to be heard, they need to be civilized." Damn, Hulk and his wife were actually a perfect match. But apart from scathing replies telling Linda that she needs to actually watch what's going on, as there has been plenty of looting, and it's not, in her words, all Afro-Americans, Tony Khan chimed in and said, "You've now joined your husband in being banned from all AEW shows. Congratulations." And we don't know if Hulk Hogan has ever reached out to AEW, but there's his answer. Hopefully he doesn't try to sneak into next week's tapings as Mr. America. Next up, The Undertaker talks how he could have prevented the Montreal Screwjob. Nearly 23 years later, and the Montreal Screwjob still comes up in wrestling, this time with The Undertaker talking about how he could have prevented it from happening. Taker spoke with ESPN recently about the infamous events of the 1997 Survivor Series, where Vince McMahon double-crossed Bret Hart out of the WWF Championship, forever changing the wrestling industry. Taker mentioned, "You should have put me in the match somehow with Bret. I'm sure Bret would have dropped it to me. I could have dropped it to Shawn later on. You know, right after that, there was a different way to do it. But Vince had to make sure and he had to cover his bases, I guess in his mind. But one good thing came out of the situation though. I think when the whole locker room leader really started to come about, the boys knew how upset I was that one of us got screwed over. But then the office kind of could see the point of, okay, he's trying to do what's best for business, and it was always that way for me. It was like, I'll defend you if you need to be defended, but it's business at the end of the day. As The Undertaker explained, he's become a confidant to Vince McMahon while remaining a leader in the locker room and someone wrestlers can come to for guidance and, if necessary, intercession with Mr. McMahon. Next up, will the WWE and AEW wait until 2021 for live shows? Fans are anxious to learn when the WWE and AEW will resume running live events with fans present, but a recent statement from Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer isn't encouraging. As far as when WWE and AEW can have fans back, nobody knows, and it could be a couple of months. It could be this fall. It could be 2021. It could be mid to later 2021. Nobody knows, but they're gonna try and do it as soon as possible. The problem of course is that no one knows for sure, and while fans would love to get back to arenas, there are too many factors, known and unknown, that could set things back for months. And finally, when Sid Vicious crushed Bray Wyatt. Last but not least, Bray Wyatt shared a funny story on Twitter about his experience with Sid Justice from when he was a kid. When I was a kid, I was playing in a WCW locker room somewhere with a brand new Rocketeer toy. Psycho Sid Vicious thought I was being too loud and I was annoying him, so I shot him the bird like a man. And he promptly destroyed my Rocketeer toy. Today, nearly 30 years later, my great friend Jason Baker brought me a new Rocketeer toy and restored my faith in humanity. And guess what, Sid? I'm the man now. And you still suck. Well, at least Bray's story didn't involve Sid's pet squirrel. That's a video for another day. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.